very special edition of the Pop Samurai Pop Entertainment Block on Thursday evening, starting at 7 p.m. Central Time. Here we are live on twitch.tv/Pop Samurai Network. I just wanted to give a shout out to everybody and let you all know that this is special because we are doing this for Gen Con, baby. Well, you know what? We're going to do first and foremost one of our favorite things, which is Pop Contention. And then we're going to move from there over to Pop Aficionados in the latter half of the show. But stick around. We've got a fun topic here, which is the top 5 most uplifting moments in pop culture. And then in Pop Aficionados, we got all the wonderful stuff that we talk about there, which will be hilarious, sad, happy, all that good stuff, which will cover video games, movies, and all of the things that we love. So stick with us, and we're going to go live right now, baby.
Pop Samurai, I choose you!
Is Pop Samurai?
No! Hey, Pop Samurai, if you're not listening to Pop Samurai, then you're doing nothing constructive. Correct.
In a world looking for something to listen to, a group of friends rise to the challenge. It's Pop Samurai.
What's up, everybody? This is your host tonight on the Pop Samurai Network, Critical Joel Peprocki, and I am live here on twitch.tv/Pop Samurai Network with my co-host, Will Milwaukee Washcoom.
Oh, hey.
And Jaboy, Jelani Hoon over there.
Oh, hi.
Oh, there he is. Wonderful, boys. Well, guess what? We've got another fight of Pop Contention.
Yeah.
This is the Thursday Pop Samurai Entertainment Block, where we start with Pop Contention, which is where we make our show list. It's going to be a lot of fun. But just first and foremost, let me give a quick shout out. I wanted to make sure that everybody keeps everything locked tight on the Pop Samurai Network by going to popsamurainetwork.com, where you'll find all news and everything related to Pop Samurai. And then you'll find us all of our links there for our social networking, which is Pop Samurai Network for Facebook and Instagram, and at Pop Samurai Cast at Twitch. On Twitter. My bad.
There it is.
And then also, yeah.
You got it.
And then also, you're gonna be able to interact with us in the downtime or whenever you like, which is available at popsamurainetwork@gmail.com, where you can send questions, comments, concern, and let us know if you got any great recommendations for shows or topics you'd love to see on Pop Contention or discuss during Pop Aficionados. And we also would love some recommendations for the Rapid 5 at the end of Aficionados, which we always love doing. You know how much we love picking on one another. So I want to also make note of the fact that this is a very special event, which is for Gen Con, baby.
Yeah!
And just to let everybody know that we have on Saturday evening, we have a trivia show that is going to be run by the cast here from 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 o'clock Central Time. You can just find us again at twitch.tv/Pop Samurai Network for that.
It's really important to note that I'm the one that made the events, and so it was me that forgot that it's supposed to be in Eastern Time. So I apologize if you were here at 7 Eastern. What I meant was 7 Central. We will not make the same mistake on Saturday. Saturday, we're going to start at 6. We're going to honor the time that I actually entered in.
Honesty is our mission here.
Honestly, just like competence is my mission, and I'm failing at it right now. So
we have it as a big sign on our wall where it says "Competence, our mission."
Competence. It's
here, you just can't see it on my wall.
It's misspelled though, so you know.
Yeah.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Yes.
All right, boys. Well, we have another round of Pop Contention here this evening, where we're doing the top 5 uplifting moments in pop culture, which kind of refers to anything that really makes you either amped up or feel good, or kind of like this is freaking great, I'm going to clap, or I'm going to cry, or I'm super happy, or anything, any of those types of moments in pop culture that really got you feeling uplifted, right?
God.
So,
sorry, I accidentally opened up a giant a window in front of your face. Keep talking.
All right.
It's gone now.
No worries. So just so everybody out there knows how we kind of do this, we first and foremost go around from each person, telling what our list is from number 5, and then we go to the next person, number 5, go to number 4, go to number 4, number 3, and so on and so on. And then we get to the once we have all of our individual lists, we then go to a nomination round where we say, I want one of my picks at whatever number on the show list. And from there, then we go around and fill all the spots. And each time we go through a round of that, we end up voting on whether they stay or get thrown off the list. We will then form a show list, which is the best list in the world. It is the Pop Samurai list, and it is official, and it is the only thing that matters in this world. So make sure that you stick around to see that final show list. And make sure you interact with us in the chat because we want to hear your thoughts or anything that we might have missed because we'd bring those up during our show.
Yeah.
So, boys, why don't we get started? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Will?
Top.
Oh, I'm
I see
ready.
you looking down. Are you ready? All right.
I was born ready, and then there was this weird little bit where I wasn't, but I'm totally back to being ready now.
Ah, yes, that thing called life. I understand. In that case, let's start with Jelani at number 5.
Oh, no.
That was
No, I got it.
misdirecting.
Yeah. All right. So for top 5 uplifting moments, my personal list here, I'm gonna go starting at number 5 here. I'm actually gonna work at a handicap here, guys, this week. So what I'm gonna do is my number 5, I've placed a personal story on my list here, and it is a personal character redemption from a D&D campaign that I played in. So as my number 5 here for uplifting moments, at my number 5, I'm gonna put my D&D character redemption in as my number 5. I probably won't nominate it for the actual official list, but if we want to hear that story later on, by all means, let me know. I'll
Absolutely. Well, you can't just tell us that and not want us to hear it. So absolutely, we're going to want to hear it later. All right. Well, thank you, Jelani, for that one. Let's move on to Will's number 5 next.
My number 5 is not quite as specific as Jelani's, or not quite as nuanced, I will say. But it definitely is more of a niche pick that he will at least get. This being Gen Con, being largely based around tabletop RPGs and D&D. I wanted to get a moment from a streamed D&D campaign on, and my current favorite one is Fantasy High by Dimension 20. So I am going to actually pick the moment when my favorite ship happened in Fantasy High, and that's Fig and Ida express their feelings for each other for the first time. Spoilers, that is from season 2. But that moment, I was bouncing up and down because, well, I'll explain more about it later. But yeah, Fantasy High.
Awesome.
Fig
I
and
like
Ida.
it. Awesome. Yeah, I got that. That's awesome. Beautiful pick. And then moving on to my number 5, I stuck with a game, but it is of the video type. So for me, I went with Halo 3's You Found Me moment, which is where Master Chief finds Cortana and literally lifts her up and goes. Both figuratively and physically. So
which Halo is that one?
That is Halo 3.
3, right? Okay.
Yeah. So one of my favorite moments. I was loving rewatching that scene and seeing the comments, and everybody's like, "Never thought I'd care so much about somebody in their AI."
Me and my pet, fully sentient AI.
Yeah, exactly. There's 2 of us now. All right. Back over to Jelani. Number 4, please.
Listen, we all know that the only AI relationship that matters is Joker and Edie from Mass Effect. All right. At my number 4 here for Jaboy here, I decided that I wanted to go into the world of comic books for this list here, which Jaboy's here, comic book fan. I'm gonna go with this again. This is another big spoiler. These lists are big spoilers for you guys, but I'm gonna go with my favorite Spider-Man comic book run of all time, which is Ultimate Spider-Man. It is a complete story, and I'm actually gonna go with the end of the run, or the end of Peter Parker's run, which is the death of Peter Parker. I think I'm gonna choose that as an uplifting kind of moment towards the end.
Cool.
Yeah, you
Awesome.
know, death of the main character, super uplifting.
Not every moment and every uplifting moment is gonna be a happy one, but it's gonna be something. So
Yeah,
that's what I'm choosing here. Yes.
I follow you. All right, back over to Will then for number 4.
Yeah, my number 4 is from a property that you may or may not know I enjoy. Mass Effect, specifically. I don't know if you've heard of it, but not what Jelani cited before. I'm gonna go with the moment when you get Morden to sing. That moment, as far as character development, as far as just far
cheerful,
out of left field, just so cheerful. That is the tops for me. So good.
Awesome.
Very cool.
That's great. All right, awesome pick there. What a surprise. It's much like my Jurassic Park. It's Will's Mass Effect. So
yes.
Way to go. I love it. That's wonderful. All right, so my number 4 then comes from a little movie called Super 8. I love this movie, near and dear to me, because it's like the filmmaker's movie. And the scene, or the sequence that I like in that, is called The Case, which is the short film that they're filming the whole time during the movie that you don't really end up seeing until the end credits. Then you see the 5-minute movie that the kids were making the whole time. So it's called The Case, and it is very heartwarming.
Very cool. I love it.
Very good.
Have either of you seen that?
No, actually, it's one of those ones I have not seen.
I don't think I've seen it. No.
I think I need to do it. I need to go back.
No, that's all right.
Maybe next year for Gen Con we have to join one of the Film Fest activities and just watch some of these movies that Joel keeps telling us to watch.
Oh God, I know. Yeah. We'd be here all year.
I want to do like an over an analysis, or like a dubbing, or a sleepover. I would
PJs and all. Pillow
hang out with me. I need human contact.
Exactly. All right, we're done with number 4s. Moving back to number 3s. Jelani, Jaboy, number 3, please.
Number 3 for Jaboy here is going to be from also Mass Effect, but I didn't choose the Morton scene. I love the Morton scene, but what I'm going to choose is Commander Shepard's speech to the entire squad that you've created the entire game at the suicide mission. I absolutely think it's one of those just big speeches that he gives to the squad to pump them up to it's a final mission, the final push, and I think it deserves to be on this list. So
sure,
that's mine.
So, some of you may die, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. I'm paraphrasing, of course. It's written a little better than that.
All right, so that's
right.
mine.
Bill Pullman did the same thing in Independence Day. So
that's right.
He did.
Honestly, it might have been verbatim. I don't know. I should look it up.
Freedom. All right, Will, we need your number 3 next.
My number 3 comes from a tiny little show called Pokemon. And the number 1 uplifting moment from Pokemon for me is an episode called Snow Way Out. And this is an episode in which Ash gets trapped in a blizzard searching for Pikachu, and he puts himself at risk. And then when it's looking really bleak, he tries to get all of his Pokemon into their Pokeballs so they can stay warm and not die. And all of them refuse, and they all huddle around him for warmth. And it is just such a wholesome moment that I couldn't not have it in here.
My heart.
I'm telling you, man.
What was the name of the episode again?
Snow Way Out.
That is.
I wonder if it was just as cheesy in the Japanese title.
I hope so.
I love it. Yeah, exactly. We can only hope. That's great, though. That's wow. Damn you, Pokemon. The feels.
Making me cry.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm going to have to follow that one up with also an anime. My number 3 pick is from a movie that I know these two boys have not seen yet, which is unfortunate because I'm going to be fighting an uphill battle from here on out. But at the same time, for the viewers out there who have seen this is Weathering with You. It is the falling scene, and I won't ruin it as best I can. That's questionable if I can or can't, but I'll try my best if it makes it onto the list. So it's just called the falling scene.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sounds good.
Very cool.
All right, and then moving to number 2. We're moving up the list. We're hitting heavy hitters here. Jelani, hit us with the heaviness.
One of my favorite movies out there is The Shawshank Redemption. I'm going to choose Andy escaping as an uplifting moment in that movie for my number 2.
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that because as we move to number 2 for Will, I would like to know yours.
Andy Dufresne crawled through a mile of shit and came out clean the other side. My number 2 is also The Escape from The Shawshank Redemption.
Is it?
100%.
Will, we should be friends.
We should be friends. I'm gonna cover up my number 1. My number 2 is The Shank.
Nice.
Love
Holding
that
the
movie.
Cloth that's all shredded up. Yeah, exactly.
It's my napkin from lunch.
Awesome. All right. Well, then moving to number 2 for me. Mine comes from another anime, but a more well-known one. This is My Neighbor Totoro. This is where the trees grow because of their dance and where they get to fly on Totoro.
Hell yeah.
That is like the most happy childhood moment where they're like, we can go flying, let's do it. And they just grab onto him. So great.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Yeah, nice.
All right. Well, guys, we made it from the number 5 up to number 2s. And at this point, we are going to do any runners up or honorable mentions that we have here. So, Jelani, if you have some, feel free to give them.
Sure. I'm going to choose Carpe Diem from Dead Poet Society with Robin Williams.
Yep.
He can deliver a speech like no other.
No shit.
I'm also going to give Iron Giant's Sacrifice, Superman scene, Cool Runnings, Team Jamaica's earning that
Holy
respect.
shit.
That
Yeah.
scene.
Carrying the sled. Hell yeah.
Carrying the sled up and everything like that. Perks of Being a Wallflower, the We Are Infinite scene. I love that film. I love the book. It's such a powerful scene. I'm going to go what else is there? Oh, and then I've talked about this before, but in comic books, the Superman comic book, What's Wrong with or What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way, the final ending speech about dreams, I think is such a powerful, uplifting moment. So
Very
that's
cool.
what I got.
Awesome. Will, do you have any that you want to make mention of?
I do. I think that the opening from Katamari Damacy, it never fails to get me just like smiling and hyped.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I have Animal Crossing, the entire game, which I've sort of just discovered. It's just feel good, it just makes you happy. Firewatch, I don't know if you guys have played that game, but at the end when you find the drawing of you, sort of as you described yourself, it's really cute because like it sort of shows this progression of a relationship. I don't know, I just think that's really cute. My Hero Academia, You Can Be a Hero Too. The ending of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. When they're going through the glass ceiling and everything. Rocky on top of the courthouse steps. And Spirited Away, Granny's house, when they weave the little hair tie.
Yeah.
It'll keep you safe. It's made by all your friends.
Love it, man. Awesome. Very good. All right, and then I have just a few here as well. Short list today. Little Miss Sunshine, the grandpa loser scene, where she is not a loser. And Garden of Words, you saved me scene. The end scene from Japan Sinks, where Japan lives on. Not ruining anything there, but just something that go watch it. Damn it. Amelie.
Spoilers: Japan might sink.
Yeah, that's why I left that kind of ambiguous. Amelie, the whole entire end sequence, which is like everything comes together great for everyone in that. Who is V? V for Vendetta. The whole kind of idea of what is V? Well, it's everybody. Another spoiler there. Freedom Speech, Braveheart, Chrono Trigger, Beyond Time, the true ending, and Little Big Planet, the entire game.
Nice. Yeah.
I like your style. Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to throw that one out there.
Yeah, definitely. When you mentioned Katamari, I was like, yeah, that's kind of a similar vein where it's like they're both just so like fun and
it's so
throws everything to the wind, right?
It's so like unapologetically weird. And it's just like, you know what? This is what it is. Hope you like it.
Yeah.
And I like it. So
yeah, exactly.
It
All
100% works for me.
Beautiful, guys. Guess what, though? We have to now hit the number one spots on our personal list. So, Jelani, get to it. Tell us what you got.
My other hosts here probably could guess what this is. But this is from an animated film that I love, and it's near and dear to my heart. And it is a Silent Voices, the ending, where he finally is able to let in the world. So I'm going to put that down as my number one. And there we go.
Nice.
X's Dropout. How about that?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, very good choice, man. Will, what about you?
For me, I'm also picking an anime moment, or at least an anime sort of idea. I'm going to go with Mob Psycho 100. When Mob wins over the Body Improvement Club. I don't know why, but they're just like the most wholesome thing I've ever seen. And like Mob's got all this, he's got all this power, and somehow he still just wants to be better, without it. I think it's incredible. And they're just so supportive of him. Yes, very good. I see in the chat, fight on, fight on. Very
awesome.
nice.
And thank you everybody for interacting with us, and keep it up. We love hearing from you. Make sure we give some shout outs and Ken in the chat here, so always appreciated. Now for my number one, mine is still coming from a movie, but it is not of the animated type. This one is from Secret Life of Walter Mitty. It is the downhill scene where that boy gets the balls to take on life in the real world. I love that movie. Yeah, so that is probably Ben Stiller, at least my favorite Ben Stiller movie. So awesome. Secret Life, Walter Mitty. Okay, guys. Well, we have all of our individual lists out there. We have to move on to the nomination round. So let's start round one. You can choose anywhere from 1 to 5 to place any of your choices within the show list, initial show list. And then we'll go through everybody. And then from there, we're going to do some voting. So let's start in the same order that we began. So we'll give Jelani the first stab at it.
Hello, everybody. So let's see here. My first nomination for the official show list here, I think I'm going to throw up...
Ew.
Massive...
He did it!
You know what? I'm throwing up the Ultimate Spider-Man pick at number 5. I'd like to try and get a comic book on here.
Okay. All right. Will, go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna throw Dimension 20, Fagin Ada at number 4. I want to get a tabletop thing on here.
Yeah, I like it.
Nice.
All right. Fagin Ada. All right. And then that takes me to I'm going to put one of my picks that I think has pretty universal appeal, which is Halo 3 at number 3. Let's give that award. Yeah, moving on up. Halo
Everybody's
3.
just getting out of each other's ways. We're all happy-go-lucky today.
For now.
Well, these are all important picks, so I'm worried about going against any of them.
We're a team here. We support each other, and that's the real uplifting moment.
That's right. As a knife slowly slips into the.
Is this my blood? Oh,
until one of our picks gets taken off, then heads roll, right?
Good thing my shirt was already red.
Oh my lord!
You're prepared in advance, right? All right, guys, let's get to the voting round. For round 1, I'm just going to put a 4-minute timer on my phone here, and we're going to start at number 5, which is Ultimate Spider-Man. And then we'll go to number 4, and then me last. So, Will, you're second. Jelani, are you ready to go?
Yes, I believe I am ready to go.
All right, I will give you a shout out with 10 seconds remaining, okay? Just so we can keep the clock going.
Sure, no problem.
Or thereabout, and if you need to finish up your thought, go ahead.
All right,
ready, set, go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Ultimate Spider-Man, the series run, it's a perfect run of Spider-Man. If you're looking to get into comic books and you're looking to read Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, the collection is your way to go. The story of Peter Parker in this is so well done. It starts off when he's 15 and it ends off, sadly, it ends off when he, I think, is 17 or 18. So he only has a few years, but he goes through everything. And the final arc of Peter Parker's story is the death of Peter Parker, which is a very sad story. But at the end, there is a moment where it feels more uplifting for me, at least, where Peter Parker, of course, everyone knows the story that he lost Uncle Ben. He couldn't save him and this and that, and he deals with that the whole time. And in the end, he goes into this climactic battle with Osborn, the Green Goblin, and it ends up with this climactic battle on the front lawn of Aunt May's house and everything like that. He's trying to protect Aunt May, he's trying to protect Mary Jane, and in the end, he ends up realizing the only way he can stop this is by actually stopping the Green Goblin. He stops him, but in the way he sacrifices himself. And in the end, the final page or final bit here is that Aunt May is holding Peter Parker in her arms, and Peter says, "It's okay. I did it. Don't you see? I couldn't save Uncle Ben, but I saved you. And then it ends, and then he passes in her arms." And I think it's such an uplifting moment where he finally, in the end, he could save them, and he did. And so that's what I got there.
Awesome. Okay. All right. We're going to move quickly over to Will. I paused it just for a moment just so he could finish his thought. No, you're all right. Let's go over to Will with D20 Figonita. Ready?
Yes.
Go.
Okay, so first thing I'm going to say, I know this is obscure. If you have not gone and watched Fantasy 20's Dimension 20's Fantasy High yet, go check it out. Also, turn this off for the next 3 minutes because I'm going to spoil some things. There are a lot of awesome characters in this show, and one of the characters that I never really quite connected with was Figurath Faith, played by Emily Axford. She always puts up this kind of facade. She's always trying to be tough and not rely on people and stuff. But that changes in season 2 when she meets someone that was supposed to be a throwaway character, and that is Ida Eggfort. She is a half-human, half-phoenix character, and she's obviously got some challenges that she faces. But the beautiful thing about this moment and this relationship, which I was always cheering for, is that Fig sees right through that and sees how amazing Ida is. And in turn, Ida sees through Fig's facade and all sort of the pain and insecurities that she's holding. And together they sort of overcome their differences and each other's deficiencies to make what I was rooting for the whole time is like my favorite relationship in the whole show. And so this throwaway character becomes very important to the story. This player character I'm finally able to connect with. It is so wholesome and so good. And it really kind of gets into issues of self-esteem and believing in yourself and finding love in weird places. And it's a tabletop moment. So boom, Gen Con, what's up? The bottom line is this is a great moment, as obscure as it might be. And I think it would be lovely to get it on the list.
Sure thing. All right. Good timing.
Such a great moment. Such great stuff.
All right. I like it. Now moving on to my number 3 position, which is Halo 3. You Found Me. Ready, steady, go. Okay. So this was one of the more monumental pieces in at least Xbox gaming history. And I would say in gaming history in general, video gaming history, I should say, which was finishing off the trilogy of Halo, which then turned into a octilogy, or I don't even know what we're at this point.
Close enough.
But yeah, it doesn't matter because these first 3 were a masterpiece. And in the third one, everybody's pretty run down. Cortana goes missing. And Master Chief made a promise long ago that he's always going to keep her in sight and find her no matter where she is. And so this sentient AI, Cortana, is lost, but she needs to be found. And so eventually, Master Chief does find her. And what happens is a beautiful cutscene between the two characters where Master Chief walks up and she says, "You found me," as she's laying down this little thing on like a computer base, pretty much like a holographic computer base. He says, "I promised I would," and she's like, "I picked correctly," meaning that she chose him as the person who's gonna carry her essentially and carry people through this whole thing. So I'll wrap this up really quickly here. The alarm just went off, but just a few extra seconds. But what's beautiful about this is you have not only Cortana, who is kind of dark and dull in the beginning of the video, but when he says he kept his promise, she like lifts up and you can see the color get brighter on her and things like that. And it's just all these little subtle things and their relationship, which is just this kind of banter between one another about being like, how do you plan on getting out of here? And he's like, "Well, I thought I'd mix things up and we'd fight our way out of here." And it's like a joke because that's all you do in Halo, right? So, and then basically she's like, "Well, don't, keep your head down because there's 2 of us now." So it's like, yeah, all right, we're back with Cortana, how we were supposed to be. We're going to take on the world. And it was just a very uplifting moment. So that's what I've got. Halo 3, You Found Me.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Bravo.
Awesome.
There's nobody else I'd rather stick in the back of my head.
Yeah, she was a pretty fun little character. So, all right, let's do some voting. Let's get to let's start with number 5, the Ultimate Spider-Man Death of Peter Parker scene. Jelani, go ahead and give us your pick.
Well, of course I'm gonna stick with it, but yeah, I love the ending of this. I think like when it first happened, I thought it was a cash grab, but then when I read it, it was like, oh, this is a really powerful moment. So I think it deserves to be on this list. I'm trying to get a comic book on this list, so that's what I got.
Okay. Will, I'm gonna throw this one at you, and I'll try to change it up going forward.
I am going to abstain, actually. I don't know the moment that you're referencing. I have not read this particular run of Spider-Man.
Right.
And
above all else, I hope you go read it.
So to me, it just sounds like you're describing a moment when they killed off a main character, which is not always the most uplifting thing in my mind. So I'm just going to abstain. I'm not going to say nay, but...
All right, well, moving on, and what I would say about this one then, in that case, since my vote matters here, is that although you can have a death of a main character in their passing, you can leave things in a very positive note as opposed to it always just being so somber. And although it sounds on the surface like what Will is saying, this is a moment where you realize that the character achieved his goal And it kind of lends that idea of anybody can accomplish whatever they want. Normal people can do great things type of thing. And especially a young person who is, growing up and trying to become that type of thing. So I actually think this is a great pick and totally glossed past this. I somehow, didn't think about this. But yeah, you're right. And I think this deserves to be at number 5, honestly. So good choice, Jelani. Bravo, Ultimate Spider-Man. Death of Peter Parker, ironically, is an uplifting moment.
Just cleared the way for Miles Morales, right?
Yes, it did actually. That's who took over after he passed. Yes,
right on.
But continue.
All right, moving to Will, number 4. Let us know what you think about your choice, the D20 Fig and Ida relationship.
I'm totally okay if I get overridden, but this is fresh in my memory because I just watched, or we're still getting through the second season. And so I'm going to say yay. I absolutely love this campaign and I love this relationship. And the moment when they finally get together, so good. All
right. I'm going to give this one to Jelani because I have not watched it, but that does not mean that I'm not abstaining or choosing yet. I'm just saying, let's hear what Jelani has to say, who would be a little bit more informed.
Ladies and gentlemen, I love Dimension 20. I love Fantasy High. I love the characters. I love the people who play the game. This is a very strong moment. Had I been in the debate portion with Will, we would have just had like 20 minutes of us gushing about the thing.
Yes.
I absolutely love this moment. I think it should be on this list. I love that we're getting a tabletop moment on this list, which I think is very important. But it also shows that, like, yes, in role play and stuff like that, you can have really cool, meaning, uplifting moments. And for the character arc that this went on, I think that it's really good. I would love to talk more with Will about, like, after he's finished the entire second season. But yes, it's so well done. I love it. Let's put it on this list.
All right, awesome. And because my opinion doesn't matter, I'm still going to talk, which means I would have happily given this. I think some of the finer moments like that are very uplifting, where you have somebody who is like totally in the background but becomes a force to be reckoned with, and I think that's a very uplifting thing for a lot of people, where it's like I can totally associate with.
Dude, you said it.
Very cool.
I don't know if you've seen it or not, but you nailed the exact sentiment. Like, yeah, it's like I said, it was a throwaway character that they thought they would use once and be gone, and it ends up being a main love interest, a romance partner, if you will.
It becomes one of the best side characters in the second season.
Oh, yes, I agree.
Yes.
Awesome. Right. Well, then guess what's on this list at number 4? We have D20 Fig and Ida.
All right. Represent.
Well done, sir. All right. Round of applause. And on to number 3. I am going to give a yay to Halo 3. You found me. You found me. Let's then move over to Will.
Oh, well, you're going to make this boring then, because it's a big yay from me.
Oh. Hold on. I was gonna get
no. It can be boring. I mean, the relationship between Master Chief and Cortana is symbiotic. It was like he lost a part of himself when he lost her. So, of course, this is going to be such an important MacGuffin. Go get your Cortana back.
Oh yeah, the guy speaks maybe 30 words in the entire saga, right? So it's like to hear those few words when it's like between her and him, it's like, yeah, all right, it must be important.
She is Master Chief's heart, if you think about it. She's really like his guiding, like the voice in his head, the conscience, whatever you want to say. That's Cortana.
Oh, yeah. It runs pretty deep. I definitely agree with that. So, and Jelani, let's hear what you have to say, knowing that you probably haven't played it.
What do we know about your boy over here? Right? What do we know about your boy over here? Your boy likes himself some Sony PlayStation. He's never played any Xbox stuff. He's a big crybaby. So when it comes down to this, right?
It would have made you cry.
It has made me cry. So I actually have seen clips of this stuff on YouTube. There's not very many scenes of Master Chief talking, and so seeing these scenes like that, I would have put this on this list. I would have said yay because it's so the moments and the clips they have with Master Chief and Cortana, even outside of just number 3, were let's make all the manly men cry. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, guess what? We have knocked out numbers 5, 4, and 3, which means we are moving on to round 2, which only has the top spots 1 and 2 left, guys. So let's give Will a first stab at 1 or 2. Let us know what you want to put up there.
What do I want to put up there? I think I'm gonna go for The Shawshank Redemption at number 1.
Whoop.
The shank, baby, the shank.
Yeah, give him the shank.
Okay.
All right. I'll let Jelani go next then.
Oh shit.
Dick move.
You're throwing Shawshank at number 1, huh?
At numero uno.
Ooh. Ugh.
He's only upset because he was gonna do that.
I mean, he's got a pretty powerful one in silent voice too, though.
Yeah. I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna force Joel's hand here to make a choice. So I'm gonna throw a silent voice ending at number 2. And I'm gonna make Joel force who he's going up against.
Both of those that is a murderer's row of picks.
Yeah, but that's what I get, right? I forced him to go.
Hey, price you pay to play the game, bud.
Yeah. All right.
Hold on. That was an uplifting moment. Jelani's little I got him dance.
yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, when you play with the fire, you get burned.
You're just like the groundhog from Caddyshack.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I am gonna. Oh gosh. All right. You know what? I'm gonna throw it in Jaboy's face, and I'm gonna put Secret Life of Walter Mitty downhill scene at number 2.
Oh damn!
You might have got me, guys. We'll see.
We'll see. Neither of you guys have seen this?
Correct.
No, I have seen this.
You have? All right. Thank God. All right. Well then, let's get to it. Jelani is going to go first at number 2, and then I will go right after that, and then Will go for his number 1 pick with Shawshank. So let's get some 4 minutes here on the clock. And Jelani, are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do this. Why not?
Ready, steady, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, A Silent Voice is one of my favorite animated features in the last decade, I guess. It is a powerful movie. It deals with things as mental health, relationships with not only friendships, but other complicated relationships as with love and stuff like that. This moment at the end is so personal to me, right? Because I deal with the same affliction where I feel like the world sometimes is very loud and I can't let in everything at some points. And so the moment at the end where the person, the main character, finally accepts his friends to help him ground himself in the world, to use his friends to be here in the world and finally open up to the world and let it all in, and him breaking down crying out of joy, pure unabashed joy of how beautiful the world is with your friends and how much they can help you deal with through these afflictions that you have, is such a powerful moment, and I love it, and I think it got to be on this list.
Perfect timing, man. Awesome. All right, I'm going to go next with Secret Life of Walter Mitty, the downhill scene. Ready, steady, go. All right. So Walter Mitty is a totally average gentleman who works for a magazine who just processes film for pictures of photographers and gets them into their magazine. While he is totally average, he is also totally in the backdrop of everything and never really does anything extraordinary. And that kind of is a curse in his life because one of his ways to handle his normal life is by daydreaming about doing extreme things. So, meaning not just extreme, but like taking the chance, doing this and that or whatever, going for the girl and and he like gets snapped out of it and he's like, oh, I'm back in real life. That didn't happen. And it's like all these scenes are all very dramatic. Well, at a certain point in the film, he decides to make a change. And it's a change to take on chasing down the photographer so he can get the film for the last edition of the magazine. And basically, he starts to actually go on a real adventure and chases the guy around the world trying to find him. And in one of the places that he goes to, it's one of his pinnacle moments because what he deemed important to him, he gets to utilize in real life to chase this guy down. And not only that, but it's in Iceland, down a mountain, away from a volcano, and he is downhill on a longboard, and he tapes rocks to his hands so he can scrape on the turns and everything like that. And it's totally just like this guy's shining in the light moment. And you, the viewer, gets to watch him come to fruition as like, all right, you know what? Everybody has something awesome to offer. Everyone has their place in the sunshine. And I think this one is a great one for a place number 2 on this list. So that's what I got. All right, Will, we are moving on to you. Number 1, are you ready with Shawshank Redemption?
Hell yeah.
All right, ready, set, go.
Okay, so the Shawshank Redemption follows the story of Andy Dufresne, who's one of these people who kind of always just, followed the rules straight-laced and sort of gets taken advantage of for it. He gets his wife's murder pinned on him, and he gets sentenced to prison at Shawshank Penitentiary. And as he's there, he gets taken advantage of by the warden to do sort of this dirty bookkeeping. He gets attacked by his fellow prisoners. He gets, just all these sort of things that he never really deserved. But he's this kind of underfoot character that just like, he just kind of takes this stuff from the world. He always has, and it seems like he always will. And so by the end of the film, the redemption, at least in my eyes, is that he finally takes this bold step to make this escape, and he's successful. This whole time, it's shown that he's got an incredible intellect, and he finally puts that to use. He's able to liberate himself from this false imprisonment. He's got money set aside from that sort of laundering scheme he was doing for the warden, and he leaves some behind for his best friend to meet him on the outside as long as he's willing to go the extra mile to come find him. It's a beautiful scene narrated by Morgan Freeman. Like I said earlier, Andy Dufresne crawled through a mile of shit and came out clean on the other side. And he's sitting there, shouting to the heavens as the rain falls, and it's just a beautiful scene and one of the most like uplifting things where no matter what life throws at you, you can get through it. I think it definitely deserves to be on this list. One of the all-time great moments in movies.
Very cool. All right, that wraps it up for the nomination and the defense. Let's get on to the voting. Let's start this round by giving it to Will for number 2. Would you choose Silent Voice or Secret Life of Walter Mitty? I'm changing it up on purpose. We'll see what happens here.
Well, I have only seen one of these, and I am deeply in love with the one that I've seen. So I think I am going to vote for A Silent Voice.
All right. Then, Jelani, I think I'm going to hold off on you just for a moment, and I'm going to give my piece here. Ironically, what I was talking about in Secret Life of Walter Mitty is essentially one and the same kind of thing, where it's not so much the stress aspect, although he is an awkward individual. he more or less just is seeing the world in the reality or in the way that he wishes he could have this whole time, instead of it being kind of like a stressful thing where he kind of just doubted that he could ever do that, in which he kind of did too, but it wasn't an anxiety so much. It was just a nothing will ever be great for me, so whatever. But instead he did make some greatness. So, but I have to say Silent Voice did do a better job at this in terms of the delivery of a guess what, life can be better, and makes everybody who has ever dealt with any anxiety in referring to working with individuals or people, yeah, this is it. This is the one. Go watch this. You need to feel it. You got my vote, Jelani. I'm sorry, Walter Mitty. You're a strong choice, but Silent Voice has got mine. Jelani, say your piece.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say this, right? I absolutely love this film. Walter Mitty. Secret Life of Walter Mitty. So much so that I actually, if we could see right there,
Oh yeah,
one of my favorite soundtrack to listen to is the Secret Life of Walter Mitty soundtrack because of Jose
absolutely.
Gonzalez's amazing music.
Yep.
And so it's one of those where it's such a powerful moment because he's a character who was like, I could never, he always wished he could be that, but if he just took the leap and tried, he could be that. He could be that adventuring character. He could be that person who could take life and enjoy life. So I absolutely love that movie, right? Had I not put up a Silent Voice against it, right, I probably would have been convinced immediately to vote for Walter Mitty. Joel, just know that. Okay. But yes,
You're breaking my heart.
but a Silent Voice, it's so personal to me. I think I had to stick with it. But if it was anything else, any other of the picks on my list, I would have defaulted to Walter Mitty.
Awesome. That's all right. I think that just leaves that Will needs to watch that one then too. Add that to the list, Will.
I'm adding it to the list.
He's like, God, this list is a mile long. All right, well, you know what? That's fair enough. But we still, well, I'm sorry. Let's get this out of the way. At number 2, we have a Silent Voice ending, and then we're gonna move on to number 1, which is Shawshank Redemption. Will, give us your pick on that one.
Yes.
Yay or nay?
Big old yay from me.
All right, and then we're gonna go to Jelani.
Well, Andy Dufresne crawled through a mile of shit. He crawled through a mile of shit and came out clean on the other side. Yeah, I mean, come on, guys. It was on my list as number 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna get a yay from me. Yeah, I gotta give it a yay. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, my vote does not matter. I'll still just give my piece. I wasn't going to fight this one, obviously, and not that I could really fight against Silent Voice either. But yeah, I mean, how can we down the Shank, right? This is a astronomical level film. So I think, yeah, this is one of the most redeeming feelings in a movie, and therefore is uplifting. And yeah, absolutely, this deserves to be at number 1. So bravo, Will, and bravo, guys. We've got our beautiful list. Does somebody have something they need to ask me?
Hey, Joel, why don't you give us that big, beautiful list?
Oh, you got it, sir. I will do that. At number 5, we have The Ultimate Spider-Man, Death of Peter Parker. Turn that upside down, you get a positive thing. Number 4 is D20, Dimension 20, Fig and Ida, their relationship. Number 3, we have Halo 3, You Found Me, the Cortana and Master Chief moment. Number 2, we have A Silent Voice, the ending sequence where the X's drop off and he sees the world. And at number 1, we have Shawshank Redemption, Andy's Escape, where he just crawled through a mile and came out clean on the other side. And what an uplifting and redeeming moment. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right, everybody. I love this list. And thank you to my co-hosts here for putting together such a fun show with me on the Pop Contention here. But stick around, everybody. Stay tuned to twitch.tv/Pop Samurai Network, where we're going to continue the Thursday Pop Entertainment block in just a 10-minute intermission. Then we're going to go to Pop Aficionado. So stay with us, and we'll be back very soon.